Hello, guys. My name is Bipolar Barbie, and this is me reviewing the movie Joker because I just watched it and I know that I am a little bit late to the party. It is one of those things I never got around to. I remember my sister and brother in law watched it when it came out in the movies. I mean, I'm a broke ass bitch. I can't afford to go to the movies. That shit is like so expensive to go to the movies. It's like $30 like one person to go to the movies. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I watched this film and I must say it is the best film I've seen in a long time. It is probably like it is up there with one of the best films that I've ever seen in my life. It was like mind-blowingly good. Everything about it was good. I mean, there was some like I guess some cast members that are like meh, but at the same time it's like when you have someone like what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix. I think that's his name. He's the main guy that plays the Joker or Arthur. It's like compared to him, everyone was just so tiny, I think, in their performance compared to him because it was like incredible. I just thought it was amazing. And despite laughing at the fact when he actually kills Robert De Niro's character, I I may be a psychopath. I don't know. It did make me question my own sanity, and is if I wasn't pretending that there weren't like other people in the room watching me laughing at that moment at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I don't know where I was going with that. It makes no sense, but I probably am a little bit crazy. Um, but oh my god, the film is amazing. Why do I think it's amazing? So many aspects of it, but I also think it is just such a good movie about mental illness. Like clearly he's schizophrenic, it probably has some form of bipolar disorder, and he's just definitely batshit crazy in so many ways. I think the laughing was kind of like a some form of like Tourette's, impulse. He had some form of like anxiety response because it seemed to only happen when he was in like some sort of traumatic situation or when he was feeling anxious. You notice that it really came out in those moments. So um I just thought it portrayed that so well. And at the end, I realized that it also is sort of is a great representation of how mental illness is portrayed in media, and in, pop culture, in films and all that sort of thing, as being the bad guy. Like I never really, I guess, felt remorse for a character like the Joker and I'm a big comic book fan, and the backstories of all the comic book characters, which I think DC does particularly well, and I really love that. I love the whole multiverse and everything about it too. It's so good. DC is amazing. I also love Marvel, but DC, if you're really into the comics, I think really gets into the nitty gritty of character development. Now, I just think that this was like incredible the way that they developed this particular character. And it really made me feel for him. Like in the first like 5 minutes, I was hooked on the film, and I knew that this film was great because I could so relate to this character. Probably not like I'm like him really in any way, but I just really felt for him and his struggle, the way that he struggled to find his place in the world, the way that he really struggled to get the help for mental health and the issues that he clearly had from the beginning. And it's like, it's just so representative of our society as well. How you have a mental health issue, the system fails you, and you sort of become this monster because you don't have access to the care that you need for a severe condition. And he had a very severe condition from the beginning. And, those things that he did, I think that's the definition of like whether or not you're criminally insane, because his perception of what was right and wrong changed, and the fact that he didn't try and cover up his crimes, that is very indicative of someone who is sort of not just clinically insane, but legally insane. And, that's why he ends up getting put in the asylum, I guess. But I just think that, you could easily vilify him, but doing the backstory in such a way that they did, it really shows how society created him. and how no one wanted to take responsibility for that. And that's exactly the way it happens in our society. And I think because so many movies portray the villains, being mentally ill, it's like the only thing, it's like the only choice that they have. So people do vilify people who are mentally ill. They don't really take the time to understand why a person got to that point in their life, as to like how the actions happened. And I love that sort of stuff, like criminal profiling, and the psychology behind why people become murderers, serial killers, why people do crimes. Obviously, not everyone is in this case, but a lot of people are driven there by their insanity. And I love the way, I think, at the end when he really comes up with like his final joke, which is where he says, what happens when you cross a mentally ill person with a society that abandons them. And that's when he shoots Robert De Niro's character on like live on the TV show. And it's like, that is so true. Like, that is what happens when you get mentally ill people and you abandon them, when the system fails them, when the healthcare system fails them, when their family fails them, when their upbringing fails them, when their employment fails them, like when everything happens, when their life falls apart, then there is not, like that, it's his circumstance that really brought him to that point. And I think that's what I love so much about the film. Obviously, like the producers, the writers, like Todd Phillips and Scott Silver did an amazing job writing the script. I didn't really think that there was any part in this movie that was like not necessary. I didn't think there was a lot of, fluffing around. I thought it was like straight to the point. Everything that really needed to be in there was in there. And I absolutely love it. So I think Todd Phillips did a great job directing it. I've never really heard of him before. I don't know what other stuff he's done, but it was really great. I really loved the film. So I'd highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, do it. My sister and brother-in-law did tell me that it would be triggering, that it would be like, it was super fucked up and like a mind fuck. I didn't really notice any of that in there, but maybe I should put a trigger warning out there. There was a couple of graphic scenes, but nothing really compared to a lot of other like horror films. I really felt it was kind of more of a life story, and I really just got into the story and the development of this character, which I can't really think off the top of my head of any film that has done it so well that I have watched in recent history, at least. So I love it. It's probably on par with something like American Beauty, like one of those kind of films. I definitely think it will go down in history as one of the best films ever. And if it hasn't, it really needs to. I know it grossed a lot at the box office, but I just think people really, really need to watch it. And yeah, it was just absolutely incredible. And I think even though, like they said, they didn't base it on any specific comic, which I think is often a good thing, because I think a lot of, like the reason that the last Batman kind of movies and Justice League didn't really work out, well, Justice League's a different story, that didn't work out because they hadn't done the backstory of a lot of characters, I think, before that film, whereas Marvel had really set that up really well when they did their first Avengers film. But I definitely think the Batman's kind of failed this time because people don't understand the DC universe. They don't understand that there's a completely different storyline that they were going off. Ben Affleck's Batman was saved by bats, whereas like the Dark Knight Rises kind of Batman storyline was based on the fact that that Bruce Wayne had been attacked by bats. So it had a different kind of like beginning, basically. So their relationship with the Batman role and the reasons they became Batman were completely different. So I think even though they sort of started off with the graphic novel Batman, The Killing Joke, which was, I think, released in 1988, it's the basis of the film's premise. I really like that they sort of just like went with their own, and I love that aspect of it as well, that it was really, I think, just based off what everyone kind of knows about the role of the Joker and the Batman story. I don't know what it is with the Bruce and Martha Wayne murder with the pearls. I'm not sure if that was like always like in every single Batman. I really like it. I know that it was in like I think Gotham, the TV series, and nearly every Batman that I've seen where they featured the murder of Martha. Um, Martha is like where the pearls get ripped off and like explode. I mean, I think it's great visual imagery either way. Um, by the way, you know what I really want to be like one of the next Batman films to come out? I want an Alfred movie. Like just a movie about Alfred because I just think there is so much material in there. It's incredible. Like he had an incredible life in the military and serving the Waynes for so many years. And I think he would be a great back story. And I also think that Sean Pertwee, is that his name? Sean Pertwee, the English actor that plays Alfred in the Gotham TV series. I think he would be absolutely perfect for the role of Alfred. I just love the way that he does that role as far as like being strong and teaching Bruce and also being like that father figure to him. I just absolutely love it. But I definitely think Warner Brothers and the DC crew need to get together and create that film. We've done Joker now. We need to get an Alfred backstory because that would just be an incredible film. I would really want to see that. Let me know if you would like to see that film as well. Maybe we can start a petition, or maybe we could just write it. Like I guess I'm a writer. I'm gonna publish my books really soon. Maybe we could just write a script. Any script writers, filmmakers out there, we could just do it, put it together. That would be incredible. So yeah, anyway, that is my review on the Joker. Let me know what you thought of the movie The Joker, the one that was released last year. I thought it was great. Let me know if you have any issues with my critique, although that's just what I felt. That was my opinion on the film. Let me know what you thought of it, and we'll talk soon.